It should come as no surprise to my friends and viewers that trading card games have always had a very special place in my heart. In this series, both Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. Every week we will add an additional core set to our collections, moving in chronological order. We will use these cards to create a deck and then face off against one another in a best 2 out of 3 match, with the winner receiving 2 prizes to upgrade their deck, while the loser receives 1. These prizes can range from wildcards, to sealed product, to starter decks, and more. Every card that has been released will be available to us at least once. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to banish into the Shadow Realm, and even the way the very rules of the game will change, will keep our decks and our duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Alright, well, that last episode went pretty much as I had expected, but we're just going to brush that off and move on to the next set. Soul of the Duelist came out on October 1st, 2004. This set is notable for many reasons, the first of which is right here. The 2004 October list ended up releasing and taking effect the same day. This is actually an update of the 2004 list, which was only an advance notice that 13 cards were going to go from limited to forbidden. Which means this is the official start of the quote-unquote ban list. So, these are all cards that are now in official tournament play considered no copies allowed. For us, we are playing traditional format, which means everything that's forbidden is still put at limited. So for us, this doesn't actually change anything, but it's an interesting footnote in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, and a very important milestone at that. So the cards that were put to Forbidden were Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End, Sangan, Witch of the Black Forest, Yatagarasu, Darkhold, Delinquent Duo, Graceful Charity, Harpy's Feather Duster, Monster Reborn, Raigeki, United We Stand, Imperial Order, and Mirror Force. In addition, they also dropped another 5 cards to Limited: Dark Magician of Chaos, Protector of the Sanctuary, Mystical Space Typhoon, Torrential Tribute, and Morphing Jar. I don't think these actually impact us all that much. In fact, I'm not even sure if we own any of these cards except Protector of the Sanctuary. But either way, it's a good way to point out the list, and honestly, it's fun to keep that in mind. Another key thing to keep in mind about this set is that it actually introduced a new list count, basically. This is the first set of many where they actually cut the set number to 60 cards, which means that collecting a full set is actually fairly easy, well, aside from the holos, obviously, but chances are, if we want an important common here, we're going to see all 3 copies of it, which is important. So looking at the short prints to start with, we have 13 short prints and 22 commons down here, for a total of 35 common cards. Of these important cards, we have Mind Crush is one of the big ones. It lets you declare a card name, and if your opponent has it in their hand, then they have to discard all copies of it, and if they don't, you discard a random card in your hand. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Did change the rules way later down the road to where you don't get to see your opponent's hand, which means theoretically your opponent can actually cheat with this with no repercussions, but we're playing with the rules as at the time, which means that when we reveal it, the opponent must show their hand. And honestly, even once we hit that point where the rule change takes place, we're probably going to keep that rule anyway, because it's honestly a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea to have it to where they can't verify. And then scrolling down, this is also the set that introduced the level monsters. These were a series of monsters that would quote-unquote evolve and level up if they perform certain conditions. So, for example, the 2 main ones they show here are Armed Dragons and Horus, the Black Flame Dragon. Now, both of these are actually fairly decent. However, overall, the level system itself was kind of a failure. But we're going to want to see things like Armed Dragon level 3. Mass Dragon is actually a good one because it helps facilitate level 3. And looking down through here, Ultimate Baseball Kid's a fun little gimmick card if you want to play a fire deck. It gains an extra, it gains itself an extra 1,000 attack points for every other fire monster on the field, and then you could actually send another fire-type monster you control to the grave to deal 500 damage to your opponent. So if you combine this with something like DNA Transplant, this could get really big really quickly. This set also introduced some retrains of some notable monsters from the original set. Hadehane, Nobleman Eater Bug, and Enraged Mukka are all retrains of their original monsters. Man-Eater Bug, Hane, and Mukka respectively. Basically, each of them are kind of interesting with their power-up, but they're also balanced out by needing a tribute, so they're kind of bad in that regard. And then we have Level Up here. This is actually a card that helps facilitate the level system. It lets you send a level monster you control to the graveyard and special summon a monster from your hand or deck that's listed on that monster's text, ignoring its summoning conditions. Now, I want to make one thing clear. There is a card that comes out later that says this line, and we are going to have a fun discussion with that. But for right now, this is a good card if we pull it, and if we pull an important number of level monsters. Looking up at the rares here, these are going to be some of the more important cards we want to see. We have Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 4, who's the base for this line. Its effect is it can't have its control changed while face up on the field. So if we summon this, Rai cannot steal it with something like Snatch Steal, Brain Control, anything like that. Mystic Swordsman level 2 is a good one. If it attacks a face down defense monster, it could destroy it immediately with its effect without even flipping it up. So it's pretty good. It's basically a Nobleman a crossout on legs. And then Armed Dragon level 5 is probably one of the best rares out of here. It lets you discard a monster from your hand, and then destroy a monster your opponent controls that's face up, whose attack is equal to or less than the attack of the monster you sent to the graveyard. And then if it destroys a monster in battle, it gets to level up. Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, also a good monster. If it attacks a face-up defense monster, it destroys it automatically with its effect. So pretty good to get over things like Gravekeeper Spy and whatnot. Now, for the holos, super rares and ultra rares, they're very few in here, surprisingly. Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6 is a super rare. This one cannot be affected by any spell card effects, period, which is actually pretty good because it gets around most board wipes. Mobius the Frost Monarch, this is one we really want to see, because it lets you, if you tribute summon it, you could pop 2 spell and trap cards on the field, which is nice. Sure, your opponent can chain something like Bottomless Trap Hole to it, for example, but the fact that you still get to pop those 2 cards is pretty nice. And the fact that it's optional makes it even better. And as for the ultra rares, both of the boss level monsters are here. Armed Dragon level 7 has the same effect as level 5, except it's all monsters your opponent controls with the attack power under that monster discarded. And Horus level 8 is actually really strong, and my personal favorite card here. Because as long as it's face up on the field, during either player's turn, whenever a spell card is activated, you could choose to negate that card and destroy it. So what this basically says is, you play all the spells you want, and your opponent can't play any. It is a really rude card, and I love it. If we could pull these, I will happily play them. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what about the secret rares? Well, this is actually one other quirk of this set. This is the first set in which, for a time, we don't have secret rares at all. And instead, they've introduced a new rarity called Ultimate Rare. For those of you who have seen these before, you know what I'm talking about. These things can be beautiful. They have a wonderful texture, and it basically darkens the artwork very nicely. It is considered by many to be one of the best rarities in the game. And the fun part is, any card that is a rare, super rare, or ultra rare has the opportunity to be an ultimate rare. So what this means is, for all of the main holos, yes, we still only get 1 chance per pack, obviously. But if it's a rare card, we have 2 chances to get that card. in a pack, which is very nice. And honestly, just the fact that we get an extra chance at most of these cards is going to be pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and hop over into the pack opener. Alright, so 24 packs of Soul of the Duelist. Let's see what we can hit on the first pack. Okay, pretty good start actually. Mass Dragon is good. Mind Crush is really good. Hammer Shot's kind of interesting. It's removal, however, it destroys the monster on the field with the highest attack, but it doesn't actually... You actually have a risk of hitting your own monster with it, because it doesn't check your opponent's side of the field, it checks the entire field. So that's interesting, but we're going to have to be very careful with that. Also, Unshaven Angler and Trojan Horse are here too. These are actually pretty good. These have the effect that if they're tributed for the tribute summon of a monster of their attribute, then they can actually count as a double tribute, which is really nice. Okay, we actually hit a holo really early on, and a very good one at that. Mystic Swordsman level 4. Now, this is the upgrade of the Mystic Swordsman level 2. It does have a restriction that if you can choose to set it as a normal set, you cannot normal summon it, however. So, if we want to play this without evolving it through the level 2 monster, then we're going to have to set it and let it live a turn. But it's the same effect as the level 2 monster. If it attacks a face-down defense monster, it's destroyed. And then during the end phase, if you destroy a monster with this in battle, then you could send this to the graveyard to special summon the next monster. Now, we actually don't get access to the next monster until the next set, so for right now, that effect is useless to us. However, the key thing to keep in mind about this is, that means that the monster has to destroy the monster in battle, not through its own card effect. Looking through the rest of this too, this is actually still a decent pack. Dark Factory of Mass Production is good because it lets you add 2 normal monsters from your graveyard back to your hand. We can probably make use of that somehow. Skulldark Moron is a good 2K defender. And fun fact, Black Dragon's chick here was originally known as the Red Eyes Black Chick. They just decided to rechange the name in order to make it a little easier to find. Especially because there were a number of cards that had like Red Eyes Search that had to exclude this card because in the Japanese name, it actually didn't have Red Eyes in its name. Wow, back-to-back holos, Ectoplasmer. Now, admittedly, I'm probably not going to use this card, but hey, it's still cool nonetheless. But this is a really nice pack. We have a copy of Level Up, which will be pretty useful for us. Another Masked Dragon, which we really want to see a playset of. Armed Dragon level 3 is good because this comes out of Masked Dragon pretty easily. And then during your standby phase, you can send this off to get Armed Dragon level 5 here. So we got a really good pack here. So let's see what pack number 5 is going to offer us, and hopefully it's more of the same. Kind of, actually. Third Hammer Shot so far, so that's a lot. Another Unshaven Angler, another Level Up, which is also good, and Dark Mimic level 1. This is actually pretty good. You can send this, if it's flipped, you get to draw a card. And then, during your standby phase, you could send this to the grave to get Dark Mimic level 3. So it's actually pretty good overall. Okay, so this is another good pack. We hit an Ojama King, which is actually a pretty good basic rare. And we also hit a Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6, which is really nice, because even if we don't go with the Horus level line, level 6 alone is already good because he's a 2300 attacker, which is pretty strong, and he's immune to all spell effects, which is really strong for us. Now, if we hit level 8, I am absolutely going to try to see if I can work that out, but level 6 is definitely a good one to see. And there's our third Masked Dragon right off the bat, as well as another Dark Factory of Mass Production. And Spirit Barrier is actually a fun monster too, fun trap card. If you control a monster, then you take no battle damage. And there is actually quite a lot of fun bullshit you could pull with that. So we're about halfway through now. We had a third Dark Factory of Mass Production. We finally hit our first Ultimate Baseball Kid, which I'm happy to see that. Hopefully we can hit another one. And here's a fun little fact. This Goblin Calligrapher, you actually have seen him before. He is actually the monster that is on the trap card Fake Trap. In fact, His text here, his lore, actually mentions that he devotes his entire time to mastering the perfect calligraphy of false on the paper. So, fun little note that he actually appeared like about 2 years before this card actually came out. I just figured I'd give a fun little fact there. Okay, so we see a Horus level 4. Admittedly, I don't know if we're necessarily going to use this, but at the same time, I guess it kind of can help facilitate getting the level 6 out if we need to. Third Ultimate Baseball Kit, though, so that's a nice thing to see. Another Horus level 4. We actually may have to put some thought into that one. Oh, hell yes. Mystic Swordsman level 2. I am extremely happy to see that. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we have the level 4, but the fact of the matter is level 2 is a lot easier to work with because you could just summon him and hit the monster directly, as opposed to having to set him and wait a turn. That said, we still haven't seen too many other hollows since the last one, so we have 7 more packs. Hopefully we can hit something? Ooh, Master of Oz is actually not too bad. I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have what we need to summon him right now, but at the same time, he's a big body if we can pull him out, and there may be a way to cheat him out later down the road. Well, the Monkey's Paw curls once again. We hit a super rare with 2 packs left to go, but it's Greed, which is not a good one. Every time a player draws cards through a card effect, at the end of that turn, they take 500 damage for each card drawn. I mean, it's good if we want to stop people from constantly abusing Pot of Greed, but realistically, this is not a good card. So, yeah. But we have 2 more packs to go, so let's see what we can hit here. Anything good? Another Spirit Barrier. That's actually not too bad. Alright, so we're on our last pack. Can we hit something good? Please? And not much. We hit another Horus level 4, so that's our 3rd one. And we hit a 3rd Mind Crush, so I mean, that's not bad, but overall, I feel like overall this could have been better. But we'll see what we could come up with, so I'll catch you guys in the pack open, in the deck builder. Okay, so here's the deck list for today's duel, and yeah, this is actually kind of an interesting thing overall, not gonna lie, but we're gonna give it a shot. So basically, the purpose of this is just fire, fire, and more fire. Which is funny, because the first monster we're gonna talk about actually isn't a fire, but hey, let's go with it. So, starting things off, we have our copy of Cyberjar. The reason we have this is primarily to get through the deck and get most of our remaining monsters out, because with the exception of 4 monsters in here, with the exception of 4 of these monsters, I'm sorry. With the exception of 4 of these, any of these monsters can be summoned through Cyberjar. 3 copies of Horus, the Black Flame Dragon level 4. We're actually using this mostly just for the sake of having a beat stick, essentially. Because with what we're about to get, what we're going to have as an option, this could go up to 2100, which will be nice. 2 copies of Inferno. This is actually an interesting card. It can only be special summoned by banishing a fire monster in your graveyard, but if it destroys an opponent's monster in battle and sends it to the graveyard, you inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. That's a lot. Now, it does require actually destroying a monster and not something like a token, but if he has something weak on the field, like say a Magician of Faith, and we can incinerate it, this will deal a lot of damage to Rai. 1 copy of Sangin to basically search up everything except for, well, actually it searches up roughly half of our monsters at this point. 3 copies of Solar Flare Dragon. Rai showed this off last duel. If we can get a couple of these on the field, he can't actually attack any of them. And on top of that, at the end of the turn, each of these will deal 500 damage to his life points, which is pretty good. 2 copies of Spirit of Flames. Same thing as Inferno. It's special summoned by banishing a fire monster in our graveyard, and it gains 300 attack during our battle phase only. So at our turn, it's a 2000 attacker, and during the opponent's turn, it's a 1700, but if we have our field spell up, it'll be 22. One copy of UFO Turtle, it's basically there to help get other monsters onto the field once it's destroyed. Unfortunately, we only pulled one back in Magic Ruler, and it's a little too late to get more now. At least until we hit certain side packs. 3 copies of Ultimate Baseball Kid. This is probably going to be our win con. This gains 1000 attack for every fire monster on the field that's face up except this card. You can send a fire monster you control to the grave to deal 500 damage. And this effect works on both sides of the field, which there is a card in our side deck that will make a difference with that. 1 copy of Witch of the Black Forest. Again, search up most of our monsters here. 3 Blazing Enpachi, mostly for power, and 1 Charcoal Enpachi. This is basically Blazing Enpachi after he's been put out. But being put out makes him a 2100 defender, so you know what? We'll go with that. For our spells, 3 Book of Moon, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Graceful Charity, 1 Heavy Storm, 2 Molten Destruction. This is actually a nice card because it takes all fire monsters on the field, raises their attack by 500, and drops their defense by 400. And the reason I say that's a good thing is because most of our fire monsters either aren't going to be in defense mode at all, or they have such low defense points that it doesn't really matter. 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Raigeki, 1 Salamandra. I cannot believe we actually get an excuse to use this card, but we equip it to a fire monster, it gains 700 attack. This will help us kind of get some extra damage in, and if we equip it to an Inferno, that'll make it easier for him to actually beat over something. And 1 Swords of Revealing Light, kind of stall out the turns and maybe get a couple Solar Flare Dragon effects off. For our traps, 2 Backfire. This is a fun card and one of my favorite cards in the game. If a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you deal 500 damage to your opponent. So with this, even if he manages to hit us with a board wipe or something like that, we could deal 500 damage with this, and it's really nice. 1 Magic Cylinder, finally having a good excuse to have this in the main deck. 1 Negate Attack, again, mostly to help kind of stop attacks and protect ourselves. 2 copies of Ojama Trio. This actually serves 2 purposes. The first is to fill up his board with monsters that he can't tribute, and make it harder for him to attack us, and also, if the tokens get destroyed, they deal 300 damage to his life points, which is good. And combine that with another card that we're going to talk about in a moment, this can actually really help out Ultimate Baseball Kid. And our 1 copy of Woboku. And our Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6 is actually going to be our deck master for this duel. This is the final time we have a deck master in play, so Rai's probably going to lose his mind when he sees we pull this, because he knows I love the Horus line. He's probably going to think I have Horus level 8 in here. So if we can make that into a bit of a mind game, then that'll be even better. The extra deck, same thing, full of stuff we're probably not going to summon out at this point. I decided to throw in the 3 Ojama King in here just because they're fun. And hey, you never know, maybe something might happen. Well, not in this duel, but maybe later on down the road we'll find a way to get this out somewhere. And then for the side deck, 3 Masked Dragon, mostly to help recur itself once it dies, and on top of that, it's a fire monster, so Backfire works with it. 3 copies of Level Limit Area B if we want to really focus more on the Solar Flare Dragon side. And fun fact, Ultimate Baseball Kid's a level 3. So Level Limit Area B doesn't affect him, so we can actually build up his attack power and just ram him over things. 3 Wave Motion Cannon, again, mostly if we want to get extra damage off. 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is actually one of the video game promos we've had. This makes it to where both players have to set their spell cards and activate them a turn later. So basically, it effectively turns all spell cards into trap cards, which is really fun. 2 copies of DNA Transplant. This is the card I was talking about earlier. When you activate it, you declare 1 attribute. And as long as this card's face up, all monsters that are face up on the field become that attribute. So if you flip this up with Ojama Trio, for example, on the field, and you call fire, Ultimate Baseball Kid is automatically gaining 3,000 attack points. The only sad thing is that we actually don't... Oh, wait a minute. Actually, you know what? We're going to make a slight adjustment on that. I just thought about it. Because this actually works pretty well for us here. So we're going to go ahead, cut 1 Level Limit Area B. And we're going to go ahead and cut... Ooh. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Ultimate Offering is good, but we're going to take that out for right now. There we go. Okay, so we're going to have 2 Gravity Bind. Again, same thing as Level Limit. It lets us get our main attacker under it and stop Rai, and 2 copies of Meteor Rain instead of the 3rd copy of L Lab and the Ultimate Offering, because this can actually help us get our big guy, our little baseball kid here, to really get some damage off that way too, which is going to be real nice. So yeah, with that being said, guys, this is going to be a fun duel, and Rai is about to feel the heat. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to duel.
Nice Mobius you have in the corner there. I wonder what you're playing.
Hey, that doesn't mean anything, alright?
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. Well, this is the last Deckmaster duel. It's been fun, but
Oh yeah, it's fun, but it'll be nice to kind of go back to some more basic things without having to worry about this extra rule. Like, to be honest, I actually kind of forgot until the end that I needed a Deckmaster.
well, this will be the last week you have to remember it.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to this one.
NBT would be proud. Paper Strats for the win.
Well, you did get there for a change. Alright, I guess I will be going second this time. Good luck, Duelist.
Good luck. And so...
Dark Triceratops will be my Deckmaster for this duel.
Ooh, interesting. And mine will be...
Ah, okay. I see.
Kinda sucks I had to expose one of my hollow pulls right off the bat, but he's kind of a good option for me for it, so...
It is. It is.
Alright, so I will draw. Standby, main. I think I'm just good with doing a simple T set and pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I'll run out of solar.
Alright.
Proceed to the battle phase. Hit.
I'm going to book your solar flare.
Sure. After combat, I will set 1, 2, 3 back row. Go ahead.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. This is a tough one, honestly. I think I'm just going to set a couple of cards and pass it over to you.
Sure. Draw for turn, standby, main. Well, let's go ahead and start putting the pressure on. I am going to run out. I gotta think about this. Sequencing is kind of important with this deck.
Fair enough.
Let's go ahead and activate Ojama Trio.
Ooh, okay.
So you can have your tokens.
No, that is not what I want. There we go.
Then I'm going to Secret Barrel you for 1,800.
Okay.
Then I'm going to activate Harpy's Feather Duster for your back row.
Ooh, alright. I think I'm gonna go ahead and chain my Waboku then.
You got it.
And you clear my negate
so
attack.
Just a couple negates. Okay. Then this being the case, I'm going to go ahead and flip up my Solar Flare Dragon. And then I'm just going to pass the turn and deal you 500 damage.
Alright.
Go.
Draw. Standby main. Ooh. Okay.
I gotta abuse Ojama Trio before it gets limited.
Oh, yeah. You know what? To hell with it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I guess. I'm gonna flip summon my UFO turtle.
You have a turtle.
I'm going to normal summon my ultimate baseball kid.
That's pretty good.
Battle
That
phase.
is pretty good.
My turtle is going to slam into your solar flare.
Yep, you're gonna take 100 points of damage. Then you're gonna search out. I was wondering if you're gonna be on Ultimate Baseball Kid.
So I think I'm gonna bring out. I think I'm gonna bring out my own solar flare.
Oh, your own solar. That's pretty good.
And then baseball kid's gonna hit at you
So
with 2,500 attack.
I'm gonna take 1,015. And then 5 more at end step.
Correct.
Draw for turn, standby main. Thankfully, I have a way to actually out the Ultimate Baseball Kid. I do have a panda.
Ooh. Okay.
It's a big boy. It's a big boy. So I am going to go to the battle phase, and I am going to attack into your Ultimate Baseball Kid for 1,800.
Okay.
And then I will pass. Panda is 2,800.
Oof. That's kind of rough. I guess I'm just gonna set a monster and end my turn, so you'll take another 5.
I will. Draw for turn. Standby main. Well, game over, buddy. I'll run out a giant orc.
Oh, crap.
Then I'm going to activate final attack orders.
Yeah.
Nice 0
Ah, crap.
attack tokens, buddy. Pretty
Yep,
good.
That didn't go over well. Alright. Well, that didn't go exactly as I had planned, but you know what? That's fine.
Alright, we'll see if this one goes any better for you.
Let's see, where are you? There you are.
Alright, well, you're on the play again.
Alright. So, draw. Standby, main. I think I'm just gonna set a monster and pass.
Draw for turn, standby main. I'm going to set a monster and set 3 back row. Go.
Alright, I draw, standby main.
Nothing in standby this time.
I think I'm going to run out a Solar Flare Dragon.
You got it.
Let's see what you've got under the hood.
Pop it.
Alright. Main 2. I will set a couple of cards. And I will pass the turn.
Have some Ojamas.
Oh, how kind.
I hear they like company.
Oh, har har.
Draw for turn. Standby main. I don't think you've seen this yet either. But all the way back in Labyrinth of Nightmare, I did get one.
Ooh, a Gemini elf.
They're not so important now that we have some 1900s available, but it's still pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to proceed to the battle phase, and I'm going to see what this set is.
You take my Sangin.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to be sure.
So let's see. Who do I want to pick up? I kind of like my UFO turtle, to be honest.
Alright. Alright, so after combat, Demon, I don't think you're going to like this too much.
And why is that?
I'm going to kill one of your tokens,
Okay.
and then I'm going to activate another Ojama Trio.
Oh.
Oh, are all your monster zones full?
Oh, crap. That's... Okay. That's an issue. Wow, yeah, this kind of puts me in a bad spot. I guess I'll just pass.
I think this might be one of the reasons why Ojama Trio got limited. Draw for turn, standby main. I'm gonna normal summon a solar.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna set 2 back row, and I will pass the turn. And you'll take 500 points of damage.
Alright. Draw.
And during your draw phase, I'm gonna make life even more miserable for you.
And how's
I'm
that?
gonna activate Curse of Darkness.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. That's
You may proceed.
rough.
It's not quite Imperial Order, but it's still pretty good.
God damn it. Okay, let me read this specifically. Okay. Oh god, I hate what I have to do here. I'm gonna switch a token to attack mode. And I'm gonna go ahead and crash it into your solar flare.
Okay, you will take 1,800 points damage.
Main 2. I'm going to... Well, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take the 1,000 life point cost. I'm gonna activate Raigeki.
Blow up my board, huh?
I mean, if you want to negate it, that's fine, but I don't lose the life points then.
I'm gonna let it go.
Alright. Then I'm going to... Honestly, I think I'm kind of okay just setting... I think I'm kind of okay just passing, because you can't activate another Ojama Trio if I only have one open spot, so...
Correct. Draw for turn, standby, main. I'm gonna normal summon Dark Triceratops here.
Oh, I did not think that part through. Whoops.
I'm gonna proceed to the battle phase, and I'm going to attack into a token. It'll be 1,700 total.
Yep. Okay, that's not good for me.
And I will pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby, main. Oh, crap. Hmm. This honestly doesn't do a lot for me, but I guess I kind of need to. God, I hate to do this, but I have to run out Dark Hole.
Hmm. Thinking. You have 5 cards in hand, too. That's rough. I don't like doing this, but I think I'm going to Judgment.
Oh. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Then, in that case... Oh, man. If I had a certain card on face down, then this would be so much easier to go through.
This is scary too.
I think I'm going to just...
This is scary for me too because like sack just wins you the game. Draw for turn. Stand by main. Run out Berserk Gorilla.
Alright.
Battle phase, I'm going to attack a token.
Alright, so that'll be 1700.
And if that set is Old Vindictive, I just lose the game anyway, so let's go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off and see if it is.
It's my UFO turtle.
UFO turtle. Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and run out a Solar Flare Dragon.
Solar. Sure, he got it. Go.
Alright, draw. Standby, main. Ooh. Oh no! No! Shit!
You can't play
that
spell cards, buddy.
sucks. Oh, you know... Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. If I
You
had...
can't play spell cards, buddy.
If I had 1 life point more, I would have won this game. Hands down.
Oh, let me guess. You top deck Smashing Ground?
No, I topped down fucking Book of Moon. I have a monster that has enough power to beat over your Triceratops in defense.
Ah, yeah, but you
I
can't
can't
play
play
spell
it.
cards, buddy.
I mean, I can, it's just I take myself out.
Exactly. If you play a spell card, you die. Bet you didn't see this card coming, eh, buddy?
No, I did not. Damn it. Damn it. Okay, fine. Alright, you definitely win. Because here's the thing.
Curse of Darkness!
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. First off, like I said, I have Book of Moon, so if I wanted to, I could have flipped that down, ran out Pachi that's in my hand, and won right there.
Yep.
Alternatively, face down, what I was talking about was... Where is it? Here it is. if I had
Oh,
that,
yeah, I figured when I saw the Ultimate Baseball Kid that you might be on that.
because I have a baseball kid, and you're not the only one
Yep.
who's carrying light company.
Oh,
So if I had,
oh, that's cute.
and on top of that, I also had a meteor rain set too. So
Yep.
I could have turned, like, if I had DNA transplant on the field, I could have run you 3 more monsters. Then we would have had, I would have had a 95 ultimate baseball kid slugging you for basically 8,800 damage in one hit.
So, those are the only spell cards in my deck.
Really? That's it? Oh, I mean, I guess it makes sense, because if you're going to run Curse of Darkness, then yeah.
Yep. This was the whole idea.
That's just crazy. Like, damn.
Like, even, like, the one Curse of Darkness I got just won me the game, but 2 of them is just crippling.
Oh, definitely.
That's the other reason why I think that judgmenting that Dark Hole is what won me the game. That it was not an easy decision, because, like, because when you set the monster, if that's an old Vindictive Magician, and I have to attack it, because if I don't, then you just flip it up and I lose the game. If you have, like, Sakuretsu Armor wins you the game. But I just had to play like you didn't have it.
Yeah. See, I'll be honest, I actually don't have Saku in here because I kind of forgot about the whole Deckmaster causing 4,000 damage thing. And I kind of felt like it was a position where if we ended up having our Deckmaster out and it absolutely needed it, then like I didn't really think it was going to be that kind of situation, especially because the last couple times you didn't really summon your Deckmaster out at all, or if you did, it was a card that bounced itself back. So I didn't really think from that angle too much.
It was still very difficult. It was a difficult decision for me to decide I'm not going to play around Sack. But the main reason why I put this in is because I was just looking for the biggest piercer, just in case I didn't see final attack orders, and I didn't see final attack orders in the second game.
Yeah.
But
oh my god, I'm an idiot. Wait, no. Nope, never mind. I was about to say I'm an idiot. I was about to say I'm an idiot because I just thought about it. I was like, well, I could have UFO turtled into Ultimate Baseball Kid, brought out my horse, and then summoned a monster. I forgot. My Deckmaster summoning would have counted as my normal summon for the turn. Because I was thinking that would have put me... I was like, that'll put me just enough over. But, oh well.
So the deck that I played today was... The deck I played today was about the same as plus... Because I noticed if I was only running a couple of...
Oh yeah. Rising Destiny and Flaming Eternity both have some really cool cards in them. Which, I will admit too, I'm kind of disappointed that neither of us really tried
sets of video game promos that came out. They're for the Dawn of Destiny Xbox game, the Power of Chaos Kaiba PC game, the Power of Chaos Joey the Passion PC game, and Rechef of Destruction for the Game Boy Advance. So we have some promos we need to talk about.
Yes, we do, and we'll get to that right away.
and the Dark Sage will be mine, and
then to the next one.
we will move on to the next one. So, do you want the Steel of the Ancients, or do you want the Aqua Chorus? Neither of them are very good.
Yeah, well, seeing as how you decided to take the Blue Eyes from me and keep me for my third, I'll go ahead and take the Aqua Chorus. It's not the greatest card, but hey, there are certain cards coming up later that actually matter if there are multiples of the same one on the field or in the grave anyway. So, who knows, maybe I could find some use for this somewhere.
Just Machine Duplication decks come to mind. And Machine
Yeah.
Duplication is in Rise of Destiny, which is the next set. So then we have the Joey the Passion cards. I guess I take the Red Eyes question mark?
I was gonna say, let's see what it is. It's... Oh, come on.
The other two aren't great.
Here we go. Dragon, Stebek's Blessing, and Sword of Dragon Soul. What the hell even is this? Equip only to a warrior, gain 700 attack. If the monster battled a dragon, destroy that monster at the end of the battle phase. Honestly, shit, I might take this. I guess I'll go with the Sword of Dragon Soul, to be honest, because Sebek's Blessing is kind of a crap card as it is.
I guess I'll take the Sebek's Blessing because that's what's left. And we have one more video game, which is the Rechef of Destruction promo cards. And I will go ahead and take the Sage's Stone because I have two Dark Magician girls.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said to Rai earlier, I'm actually willing to forego a choice and give him all three of these, simply because, one, I have no Dark Magician, and those don't help me, and two, these two are actually completely useless without each other, so I'm actually okay with letting him have them. And on top of that, if he manages to actually get Dark Magician Knight put out onto the field, that'll be a hell of a moment to work with, so I'm kind of okay with that.
Oh, it will. And I think when the opportunity comes, I think the prize wheel and see what awaits us there. I didn't think I was going to win with that deck a second time, let's be honest.
Yeah. Alright, so to the wheel we go. Okay, so yeah, that wound up becoming a bit of a clusterfuck. And honestly, I'm kind of kicking myself. But you know what? The fire deck is still a thing, and it's actually still viable for later, so we're good with that. So we do only get one spin, unfortunately, but as with before, there are cards of every rarity that are kind of nice. Now, we will point out, though, that because of